So like Ben said, last year at Growth and Starter, I took the official MicroConf recap notes for every single talk. This year, this talk that I'm going to give right now is a recap of the major themes and highlights that I saw coming up over and over again in specifically the Starter Conference. If you like what you hear in the next 7 minutes, check out microconf.gen.co or microconfrecap.com. You can read the full recaps for every talk that I'm referencing here, and I'll show you that URL again at the end. Spoiler, my recap for this talk is going to be choose who to help, talk about their pain, and help them solve it. Let's break that down. Start building a company by choosing a group of people to help over building a product. How many people in this room are some kind of engineer? Yeah, look around, it's like everyone. So same. Intuitively, as an engineer, it makes a lot of sense to start building something. Building things is fun, that's why I got into this. But you run the risk, if you start by building a thing instead of help with a group of people to help, of building something no one wants. Ultimately, businesses are about helping people, fundamentally. We're building a business, not a charity. So make sure that when you choose your audience, they fit 3 criteria. First, make sure that they have money. So don't pick, for example, homeless snowboard bums as your audience. That would be a terrible idea. You want to pick an audience that you can reach. So if you pick, for example, real estate agents, but you've never worked with a real estate agent and you've never talked with a real estate agent and you've never bought a house and you're not fully sure that real estate agents actually exist, maybe houses just get delivered by house falcons or something. That's not going to work. It's much easier if you pick a group of people that you're already a part of that you know how to help. Importantly here also, the more specific the group that you pick, the easier it will be to build something to help them. If you try to build something for everyone, it won't work. There's only things for everyone are like air and Coca-Cola. Lastly, you want to make sure, and this is very important but often overlooked, make sure that it's a group of people that you enjoy interacting with. If you decided that your audience was going to be dentists, but the prospect of interacting with dentists every day for the next 10 years with their tight latex gloves and their sharp pointy sticks was just horrifying, then don't pick dentists. You can pick somebody else. Next, talk about their pain. Now I know what you're thinking. Talk to people? That sounds crushingly terrifying. And it is, but here's how you're going to do it. Invite them to an interview talking about the work that they do. People love this. People love talking about themselves. Imagine if I invited you to an interview. I want to get to know you. I want to talk about yourself. People love talking about themselves. They love talking specifically about the pain that they have. Don't be afraid to follow up. You can follow up with people 7 times, and it's not weird. One of the founders of MicroConf founded a company around sending follow-up emails because it works. You picked a group of people that make money. People who are making money are probably very busy making that money, so they appreciate the reminder. The more in-person that this conversation can be, the better. You get a lot more information talking with someone face-to-face than you would get the less in-person that it gets. Importantly, make sure that you're recording the conversation as opposed to trying to take notes during the conversation. This is for 2 reasons. First, you get a lot more information if you're free to be talking with the person. You're not distracted taking notes. And also, the exact words and phrases that they use are very useful, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Lastly, make sure that you're listening to them instead of talking at them. If, after this talk, I go up to you and I'm like, hey, did you like my talk? You'll say yes, because saying no would be rude. I hope. I wouldn't learn a lot of information from that. I would just learn, oh, this is not a rude person. If I wanted that actual information, I would ask you a leading question. I would ask you something like, could you tell me about some of the points that you learned in some of the talks? And let you go from there. The more that I'm giving you the reins, the more that I'm listening as opposed to telling you exactly yes or no questions that I want, the more information I get. So applying this to business, if I was interviewing my audience and trying to figure out what they were doing, and I wanted to guide them in a particular direction, you could ask a question like, could you tell me more about when patients are late to appointments and that really makes you mad, so you poke them extra hard in the gums? You'll know that you're done when you stop learning new information in these interviews. This happens 10 to 20 interviews, depending on how focused your audience is. Either that or you're just terrible at listening and you've learned nothing the whole time. So we've picked a group of people that we want to help. We've talked about their pain. Now comes the fun part. We get to help them with their pain. Because we've picked such a focus group, we're going to avoid a lot of common pitfalls, like building something no one wants. You can be pretty sure people are going to want this because you're building a thing in response to what real people have told you is their real actual problem. You'll also avoid problems like spending too much time on details no one cares about. So the things that you're building should be in direct response to helping a person. If the feature that you're working on, you can't point to exactly, okay, this is helping a person, don't build it, skip it. If the very first version of your app has crazy auto-scaling features and it's multi-user authentication and things, that's probably not directly helping a person, so you don't need it. It's much better to ship something as soon as it's ready and then iterate from there based on feedback. Lastly, it's going to be very easy for you to market. The classic problem of developers that make these software companies is that, I built this thing and no one wants it. I don't know how to market it. How do I get Facebook to do this? It's trivially easy now because we work through it from an audience standpoint, because we can use the words that people have said of what their pain is and use that right back at them. So you could write an ad that's something like, don't you hate it when patients are late to their appointments and then start crying in your chair for no reason? Here's my product. It solves that. I've been running a SaaS full-time for the last 5 years, and it's been great. The thing that I've learned, though, from the MicroConf community is that building a software business is not about the software. Building a software business is fundamentally about helping people. I've met several founders who have built a business that's helped tens of thousands of people and haven't written a single line of code because they're very hyper-focused on helping people. The more that you can focus on falling in love with the process of solving real people's problems, instead of building a particular solution to a problem. You can get bored building a particular solution, but helping people will never go out of style. That's something that'll continue to help you through your business career. I promised I'd show you this again at the end, microconf.gen.co for the recaps. I'm also taking live recaps of all the talks from today. You can watch me furiously typing as it goes through. And if you sign up at the email list on the bottom, I'll send you a free PDF recap of all of the notes. Thank you very much.